Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, what's going on with Bitcoin today? I'm sensing the fear once again. I'm looking at a live chat. I'm looking at comments. People are bearish once again. But if you're a Bitcoin holder, wait for this moment. And I'm going to explain what moment that is. And also talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto today. So as always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, guys. I'm sensing a lot of fear, a lot of hatred, a lot of doubt, uncertainty. That's what FUD stands for, right? And I think a lot of people are forgetting that if you just zoom out a little bit, you'll notice that Bitcoin was actually lower just 1 week ago when Bitcoin went down to about 53, 54, 53, and even touched upon 53.3 before making a big recovery. So when in doubt, zoom out, because this was only last week. Man, I've been through so many of these, guys, so many of these. I know a lot of you guys have been too. And people are just ignoring the fact that, yeah, we had 30,000 not too long ago. We had 40,000 not too long ago. And now, yeah, we even last week had a little bit lower at 53 only a week ago, right? So when in doubt, zoom out, take a step back, and realize, yes, there's always going to be dips. There's always going to be corrections. Just like when Bitcoin was stuck around 40,000 and it seemed like it cannot come back up and no one thought it could make a new high. When people gave up at this point, that's when Bitcoin started recovering and headed up in a big way, right? So this is why you have to have patience. Investing, any kind of investing, including Bitcoin, you too have to have patience. The key to make money is basically outlasting someone else who's impatient. They're transferring their wealth to you. When they sell and you buy, that's how you get their wealth, right? And that's what the whales want you to do. That's why there's a lot of whale games, a lot of long liquidations, right? Whenever there's too many people that are too greedy, whales do this too. So for you guys that are panicking, they're giving up, you don't think that things will go up, yes, they will. So take a step back and chill. And what I used on the thumbnail is this, because if you do zoom out, you realize that Bitcoin is still within this channel. It didn't break below. It didn't have a drastic drop. No, it's actually looking like exactly what happened last time when Bitcoin first hit about 53,000, came back all the way down to about 38,000, and it stayed there for quite some time. And kind of reminds me, yes, right now, when we had that 68, 69 peak, when we come back down, you see that we are still in this channel. So that's why I title it, Wait for This, because we can have that reversal where Bitcoin starts going up to the top of the channel right before the end of this year. It is still very early, guys. It's only December 3rd. It's not December 30th, right? We still have a whole month left of this Christmas rally, Santa rally, 4-year cycle rally. There's still a lot of things to look forward to. And even if we don't get that tremendous, parabolic run at the end of the year, Bitcoin's not going to go away. It's just simply, the cycle will simply be extended to 2022, right? And I'm going to cover why Bitcoin's not going to go away today. The main topic is, of course, Bitcoin, but I want to show you what the miners are doing. And the miners have the most to lose if you think about it. They're the ones that's powering the network. They're the ones that hold an enormous amount of Bitcoin and earn a lot of Bitcoins every single day. And what they're doing tells you that they're really in it for the long haul. They are not panic selling, and you shouldn't either. Okay? So I just want to start with that. I always try to calm you guys down, make you guys see the bigger picture. I've been through too many of these to be panicking, and for some of you guys, you've been watching for a while, it should be the same thing for you too. We have gone through many, many periods where it seems like Bitcoin cannot come back, that it is dead. The whales are going to drive it to the ground. The institutions are going to sell and this and that, and governments go shut it down around the world. No, none of that is happening, right? Just know that, yes, Bitcoin goes up sometimes and it comes down sometimes, and you just have to have patience. And even this one, look at this time. When Bitcoin went from 64, remember, and it went all the way down to its low 29, this period, this big drop, and then you could see this gradual drop down, that lasted months. And I know some of you guys, if not most of you guys, lived through that too. During those days when I was streaming, it was really, really depressing. Hard to motivate people because people thought that Bitcoin was going to fall back down to 10,000 at that point. It didn't, and it came back, and we formed a new high, right? So, again, be patient. Be patient. All right. Now, what could be causing today's slight weakness could be what's going on. There's a couple things going on. Number one, U.S. COVID vaccinations spike as several states confirm Omicron cases. So this is the latest thing that's been causing Bitcoin to come down. First of all, Omicron was detected in South Africa, brought Bitcoin down. And then we had one a few days ago or yesterday where first case in the U.S. was detected, brought Bitcoin down. And then now we have multiple states detecting this. And that has brought down Bitcoin a little bit more, also brought down the markets. You could see a little bit more, but this is something that will pass. All indications have shown that this is just a mild variant, nothing serious, and this is something that will pass. But unfortunately, there's just some panic going on right now. People are just panic selling, and they're the ones that will regret it later, so you don't want to be one of those people. Now, also, that's what's adding to the negative today is the jobs report missed out. And you know what? I don't know what's going on, but the labor force in the U.S., right? I'm not surprised by this because you visit anywhere. You visit your favorite retail store. You visit your favorite restaurant. You'll see that they have weird hours because there's not enough people going back to work. So it does not surprise me the jobs report missed because a lot of people are just sitting at home collecting their checks, right? And unfortunately, that's the new norm. Ever since 2020, the government just keeps printing more checks and giving out more benefits and makes a lot of people just stay at home. So then these retailers can't operate, and then a lot of them are going down, right? And then unfortunately for everyone else, well, you may be getting that check and it may seem like it's good, but the buying power of the dollar is decreasing by enormous amounts. Inflation is going up, but so this is something else that's happening right now. And then lastly, the last piece of FUD is Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Munger, who is 97. This man has lived for a long time, almost a full century, has come out and said that he wished crypto was never invented. He hates Bitcoin, hates crypto, will never get around to it. And to quote him, "Of course I hate Bitcoin's success. I don't welcome a currency that's so useful to kidnappers, extortionists, and so forth, nor do I like just shuffling out of your extra billions and billions of dollars to somebody who just invented a new financial product out of thin air." So I don't think anyone will ever change Charlie Munger's mind. And at one point during an interview, I showed this, I think last year or maybe 2 years ago, he called buying Bitcoin as unethical as harvesting freshly harvested baby brains. That's how much he hates Bitcoin. So I don't know if this actually added to any today's downward pressure, but I just thought I'd mention that. There are just some people that will always hate it, forever, simply don't understand it, or they're jealous of the tremendous gains that people have made, right? Bitcoin has changed so many people's lives, continues to change people's lives, and spur new innovation. And that's why we have coins like Ethereum and smart contracts and Web 3.0. That's all from Bitcoin, right? All right. So what else is there? What else is there? Well, let's talk about fundamentals of Bitcoin, right? One of the big things that I think a lot of people overlook is the miners. The miners are the ones that are supporting the network, okay? The reason why there's miners, why people mine, is because it solves its algorithm, and not only do you get rewarded, but they also secure the network and actually help process the transactions and verify all transactions on the blockchain. That's the whole point of mining. But these guys, they're not average Joes. They're not you and I just having a few miners in our basement, although you could do that. I'm talking about the giant guys, right? The public traded companies that continue to buy more and more and more and HODL more and more and more because they are that confident about Bitcoin. In the past, we've heard of miners selling out a lot of Bitcoin because they're trying to pay for the operations and they're trying to be more safe, trying to protect themselves from like a crypto winter, something like that, right? But nowadays, things have changed. For example, HODL, they just added another 256 Bitcoins to their reserve. They mined 256 Bitcoins in November, all November, and they decided not to sell any of it, and they deposit into the reserve. Now they hold 5,242 Bitcoins, right? This is what's going on right now. And HODL, Marathon, and others, they're holding everything they have. They're not selling anything. And not only that, they're taking a loan against their Bitcoin. So this 5,242 Bitcoins, they're using that as collateral and borrowing more money and using that to buy more miners and minting or mining more Bitcoin, right? So it's a cycle now, and these guys are getting more and more and more serious about holding, right? So that's HODL. Marathon, right, announces that, hey, they're increasing, look at their total liquidity increases to 1.1 billion. And unfortunately, I can't click into these, but it does show you how much their computing has gone up, how much Bitcoins they hold has gone up, and everything, all the charts is pointing upwards, and they're following the same, following the same footsteps as all other miners out there. Here's one. Bitcoin miner TerraWolf raises $200 million in debt and equity. Guess why? Right? They're raising that because they want to expand and add more miners. They're basically following the same footsteps of Michael Saylor. You know what's funny? When Michael Saylor has done what MicroStrategy, the companies that are actually following in his footsteps are all the miners. So it's funny. Every single miner is doing this. Basically selling stock or bonds or borrowing against their Bitcoin. They're all doing the same thing. And here's another one. Stronghold, which is a new green energy mining company, right, is going IPO. And again, they are going to help contribute securing the Bitcoin network. And Michael Saylor argues that every single time a miner goes public, it makes Bitcoin stronger. So this is a giant piece of Bitcoin's fundamentals, right? The hash rate now has almost fully recovered since the China ban back in May, June, July. Keep in mind, that was half the mining power, half the hash power of Bitcoin was pushed out of one country, distributed across the world. And now, months later, we have basically fully recovered from that because of these miners in North America and miners across the world that continue this arms race to solve this Bitcoin equation and to accumulate as many Bitcoins as they can, right? So the fundamentals of Bitcoin, one of the big fundamentals of Bitcoin mining, hash rate, securing the network effect is still growing by leaps and bounds, okay? So if you're worried about Bitcoin short term, just know that Bitcoin short term can be volatile, can go up and down, but you're in something that is going to be much greater than it is, right? So you got to stay strong, have patience, and know that that you're in something that is going to stay, basically. And it's going to not only stay, but expand and grow bigger. All right, so that's what I want to talk about with Bitcoin. There's a couple other things I want to talk about today. If you're looking at live coin watch, Bitcoin dominance is still below 40%. Okay, I know that Bitcoin came down a little bit, the rest of the altcoins came down a little bit, but the ratio of altcoins to Bitcoin did not go down. In fact, it stayed. Again, this is an important metric, and I bring this up all the time. When Bitcoin dominance does not shoot up, that means generally retail investors like you and I are not panic selling. When there's true blood in the street, when there's true panic, Bitcoin dominance always goes up. Always. And the fact that it's not shows that many retail investors are getting smarter. And not only are they holding, but they're also dollar cost averaging, because that's what you want to do on dips, right? Or you buy low. So that is a very, very important metric that will continue to show Bitcoin dominance did not go up at all. So it stayed the same. Now, there's several movers today. For example, Luna continues to do well because of their insane coin burning. Polygon continues to do well. These two are among my favorite L1s out there, right? Talked about Matic. I had a dedicated video on Matic recently. But what's interesting is Cosmos finally is catching on fire, right? 19% today. They're still off from their all-time high, so it's not like they made a new high. But it's good because so many of you guys have asked me about Cosmos, and I've said this too. I like Cosmos. Their ecosystem is vast, but they've been under a lot of pressure, a lot of selling pressure, and I'm glad to see them make some moves. And I was actually looking, and I actually didn't see anything that they announced. I was on their Twitter. I didn't see anything that they announced that really caused it, but maybe it's this. The Cosmos Hub Vega upgrade is around the corner. They tweeted this about 10 hours ago. I wonder if this is what the excitement is. But outside of that, no big partnerships or anything like that. But I do like Cosmos. Their ecosystem is vast. One of the biggest ecosystems out there with hundreds of projects on board. And they have their own DEX, a couple of DEXs. Not really any big NFT projects, but that that's coming. And they have bridges, and they have ICB. Inter-blockchain communication, and so many chains are built off of Cosmos SDK, so they can all talk to each other in the near future, including Terra, which is on fire right now, right? All right, so I want to talk about Cosmos real quick. I want to talk about this, but it's not a good thing, but I will bring it up because it's important. Yesterday, Badger DAO was exploited for 120 million. So this is never good. This is Badger DAO, I believe, is the biggest DAO. I've never been a fan of any DAOs, but the easy way to think about DAOs is like, it's like a investment company, a crypto investment company that is basically giving out money to expand the ecosystem. Sometimes they get users to vote. Sometimes they decide. But Badger DAO also had liquidity farms or yield pools. And somehow there was some kind of exploit, and they had about $120 million of users' funds exploit, which is no good. But to add upon this, it turned out that Celsius may have been staking some of their funds in Badger DAO. So now it seems like Celsius may have lost $54 million due to it. Now, $54 million is nothing compared to their total AUM, and I'm sure they have insurance for this type of thing. But it does show you that you just don't know. A lot of these projects are still very early. Badger DAO has only been around for a few years. You just don't know with some of these companies that are, I guess, well established, but there could be an exploit, so you have to be careful. So I don't think Celsius has responded to this, and we're waiting to see what they say. And of course, this is coming off the heels of Celsius' CFO also being investigated and arrested by Israel police. So these are things that have been plaguing Celsius recently. So we'll see how they respond. But I just thought I'd bring this up because you guys have to be careful. A lot of these projects, I know a lot of these projects that promise crazy returns with their pools, with their farms. So some like 10,000 or 80,000%, right? be very careful with your funds. You never know what may happen. So I just want to talk about that. And the last thing I want to talk about is this with Ethereum. I just did a video last night about Ethereum. I don't want to go into it more, but I thought this was interesting. Now, there's one analyst that say that Ethereum right now is more deflationary than Bitcoin, and it can become the internet's currency, the internet store of value, because of how deflationary it is. And why is that? Because of their EIP 1559. Ever since they introduced coin burning, their inflation rate is very, very, very low. In fact, it's lower than Bitcoin's right now. So it actually says in here, there was a point, well, I missed it, we're in the article. Inflation, where is it? Oh, I missed it. But somewhere in the article, it shows that Ethereum's inflation rate right now is about 0.86%, compared to Bitcoin's about 1.6%. So if you look at it that way, it's actually more deflationary than Bitcoin. Although Ethereum does not have a set cap, Bitcoin does, right? But in the meantime, this is definitely helping Ethereum in a big way, but it doesn't help them with their gas fees or congestion, which is still a very big problem. So, but I just thought that was an interesting thing to share. All right. With that said, that's pretty much it overall, guys. I don't want you guys to be panicking. A lot of people are panicking, and I'm not trying to make the lightest situation, but just keep in mind, we were lower just a week ago, okay? So we just came off of there. We're not nearly as low as there yet. And when you have doubt, zoom out, because you'll see that Bitcoin is doing just fine, and we're still stuck in this channel, which is actually a good thing, because when Bitcoin is ready to go, it could really go afterwards. But remember, focus on the fundamentals, focus on the future, and have patience. All right, lastly, before I get into Q&A, I do have a new channel partner I want to introduce, and this is a project all of you guys should be interested in, okay? And I'm talking about CoinTracking and crypto taxes and tax reporting. We are in December, right? A lot of us are worried about taxes, figuring out how to get rid of our taxes. And it's very, very, very difficult. Depending on where you live, taxes are treated differently, right? But how do you calculate it? Well, starting number one, you need to have a report of all your trades from all the exchanges. You may be using one, but most of you guys are using 3, 4, 5, 10 exchanges, right? And that may include DEXs. So CoinTracking is the biggest, the leader, cryptocurrency tracking and tax reporting with over 1 million users. Okay, and they integrate basically with every single centralized exchange out there and wallets. And besides that, they keep track of 15,000 coins so that you will have a complete overview of all the charts and everything that you ever bought in your history. Okay, they will do personal analysis for you. There's 25 different customizable crypto reports, and they're very proud of the fact that they do have 24/7 help. So if you do need some hand holding, they will help you do so. Of course, they will import all of your trades, every single one, from basically everywhere. And you get to choose what kind of tax method you want, like first in, first out, last in, first out. I mean, there's many different ways to do it. They handle tax report for over 100 countries, not just the US. And they'll calculate everything, including mining income, staking income, capital gains income, everything you could think of. Yes, that's all taxable, right? And they will help you with that. Of course, they have professionals from 100 different countries, and they keep track of everything. Every single coin, chart history for 15,505 coins. And of course, they're for retail investors, for traders, and also if you do own a company or you're trading under a company, they will also help you with that too, and not many people do that. And here, this is what it shows you in terms of the list of exchanges that they deal with, like literally every single one. You could do this by API, where you could hook up a read-only API, or you could export out a CVS and then import it into CoinTracking too. right? And you could do it from your wallets too, which is very important. And this could be straight from some of your favorite wallets out there, including Ledger, Exodus, Treasure, your ADA wallet. I mean, it goes, and here's Legacy support for even closed exchanges, even Mt. Gox. Okay, if you lost money on Mt. Gox, they will help you with that because this goes back 12 years. So think about that, right? So this is my new channel partner. If you guys are interested, check out them. URLs in the description below. But of course, crypto tax is a real thing. Don't try to ignore it. All right, guys, that's it. Now let's do some Q&A. All right, scrolling up. People are... the plan B say which December? Yes, he means this December. Let's not forget, it's still early, okay? I know you guys heard me say that, but it's December 3rd. We still have many weeks to go. This is only the first week, so calm down. Calm down. All right, let's see here. Robert says, time on our side. Yes. Cardano. Hey, the Cardano Sunday swap testnet is coming. They had a pretty good day yesterday. Unfortunately, they weren't not able to hold all those gains, but we will see. If it goes smoothly, it could be a huge catalyst for Cardano. I've said that already. What else is there? We had no Moonvember. Are we heading to a Downvember? No. No. But, okay, let's see here. Michael says ADA will kill Ether eventually. That's a big, bold statement. I don't know if that's true. Remember, you don't have to have one that becomes like the dominant. I guess let's say it doesn't take one to rule all, okay? There could be many L1s out there that continue to do well. You don't have to have one that dominates everything. But right now, Ethereum is dominating everything. Remember in other cycles, we had no pandemic. Maybe pandemic killed a cycle, changed for worse. But keep in mind, we also had recessions during previous cycles too. We also had, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, we did have a scare not too long ago. Okay, we had a scare just last year in 2020 March, and that was caused by pandemic, and we had a V-shaped recovery. So I mean, every situation is different. Every single cycle is different. And you could argue that had we not had the pandemic this year and all the money being printed, some argue that Bitcoin may have not gone up this much at all. It's because of people putting money into a store value and a hedge against inflation, and all the billionaires causing a whole bunch of commotion and putting their money into Bitcoin, right? So you could argue that had we not had the pandemic, Bitcoin wouldn't be as big as it is now, right? So who knows? I mean, every situation is different. Get a shade for that window. I can't. I've explained this many times. The room I'm in has these like cathedral V-shaped windows that you can't get shades for. And I've tinted it twice. I tinted on outside and inside. It is almost limo black. And I still have sun coming in. And it just depends on the season. So until I move, this is going to be how it is. All right. Let's see. Make sure. The moon phase is no joke. Today's lunar eclipse and the market is dumping. I can't discount it. Moon cycle does have its weirdness, so it could be. Some people refuse to believe it, but you know what? It's something that I need to track. Why not swap all BTC to ETH? Because it's never a certainty, AA. It's never a certainty. There's periods where, yes, Ethereum does do better, right? But you never know when Ethereum may lose that traction because of how strong, let's say, Solana gets, or Cardano gets, or Polkadot, or Avalanche, right? It's no certainty. But the one certainty is, if you were to ask me which crypto I feel like will be around in 10 years, 20 years, right? It's Bitcoin for sure. But if you ask me if Ethereum's going to be around in 20 years, I can't tell you that. Even 10 years, I can't tell you that, right? But the one thing that will last the test of time is Bitcoin. So that is the reason why. How do you feel about Clover Finance, their bid for a parachain auction? I don't have any thoughts on Clover. I don't follow them closely. Larry says Cardano will be 5K next year. Okay, I know you're trolling now. Thoughts on Coinme going ERC20 and mutable? I think that's a big thing for them. They should have done that to begin with. Had they done that, I think they would be much bigger. They picked a chain that is dead, Go Chain. No one knows about Go Chain. I don't know why they chose it, but yeah, their move to immutable X and ERC20 standard is good. There's going to be some kind of conversion eventually. But yeah, I think it's going to be big for them to move into the Ethereum ecosystem. And besides that, move, they have all the licensing, all the major ones. That's going to carry them really, really far in the future. RMRK Remark announced their second 2D mobile metaverse. They pumped to $69 today. Okay. Let's see. Eternally liquid. Okay. What is Remark? A set of NFT Legos. They're standalone, but allow NFT creators to build a system of arbitrary complexity when putting together on a Kusama blockchain. I don't know. See, it looks good, but why Kusama? They should be doing it on Polkadot. But I guess maybe they want to do this first to prove themselves and then move to Polkadot. I'll look into it. I'll look into it. Oh, by the way, so I'm gonna test out something tonight because it is Friday. Happy Friday, by the way. I don't stream Friday nights, so I'm gonna bring on Jordan tonight. Jordan Cameron. So he runs his own channel, but I talked with him. I asked him, "Hey, you want to produce some videos for me?" So I was gonna do it like a couple weeks ago. We couldn't do it. Last week, of course, was Thanksgiving, so we skipped. We're gonna try it today. So he's gonna bring his own spin into things and present some charts too, because he's a pretty good chartist. But overall, cover a few things. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it, and if so, we'll make it a continuous thing. And I know a lot of you guys watch Jordan already, so just want to announce that real quick. Steve says even Tyler S is saying strap on now. It's just funnier. It's just funnier to say that. All right. It's been a while since you reviewed Kava. Any new info on the project? It's kind of something that fell off my radar, to be honest, Milek. They had a lot of promise, but then, they had their last upgrade, and I just kind of fell out of touch with them. I just felt like there was other more promising projects, and I don't really know recent developments with them. Why is Hedera appealing? They're very structured. They have a lot of big partners within their console, and they have some good projects, good products out, I should say. They have a tokenization platform, which helps with creating your own tokens and, of course, NFTs. So they have a few things, but there's also a few things that I don't like, so I'm not really bullish on them. I'm more neutral. Someone asked me about EOS. Don't ask about EOS. I consider them a dead project. Corey says, we know you could pump the market, just pump it already. If I pumped it every single time, well, that wouldn't be fair, would it? So I'm going to let the market take its course, right? Teach you guys some patience. That's what you need to have. When it comes to Bitcoin and when it comes to crypto, you got to have patience. It's really it. The people that have the most patience are the ones that make the most money, usually, unless you're doing rug pull or scamming. But yeah, it's usually you do need to have patience, right? I can't tell you enough how many of these corrections I've been through. And yes, they suck. If you check your portfolio, it's down. Yes, it sucks, right? But you got to train yourself to think, okay, when do I need to buy? Well, you buy when things are low. You buy when people are panicking. You don't buy at the top, right? And that's the hardest thing to do. That's why the FOMO is real. Because when people see something go up, they want to buy on the way up, right? But what you want to do is retrain yourself and think, okay, if I love this project, let's say I'll just take Cardano, for example. I love Cardano. I love their premise. I love what they're about, right? But they're down nearly 50% from their high. Well, that seems attractive to me, right? You want to buy low. You don't want to wait until they're back up to $3 then buy. Well, then you missed out on that 50% gain. So that's just how it is. That's how it is. All right. I can't pronounce your name. I agree. Someone asked me about Monero. I don't talk about Monero because I don't like any privacy coins. I don't like holding on to them, let's just say. If you want to use it, great, but I don't want to hold anything that's going to be delisted from all the exchanges. All right? So, there you go. There you go. EOS is the most transaction. It's dead. It's dead. Okay? And we'll declare it's dead, which is why it's gone lower and lower and lower and lower, because the problems EOS has never been solved. They have the biggest bank on earth, basically. I mean, they raised a $4 billion ICO. They escaped the SEC, which is great. But, man, the flip-flopping from Dan Liermeier and the collusion of block producers, none of that has been solved. What happened to Voice? Voice became a dead project. What happened to this new DEX that they were going to pour $1 billion into? No clue. It's not out. All the things that was promised on EOS is dead. Price prediction on UFO. I haven't been following UFO that closely, but I know that they're promising play during game. That's on top of Kindana. They're working with CADX. So they're going to do something cool with them. But I haven't been studying their price too much. Luna. Someone's asking. Yeah, Luna's really on fire. They're so deflationary that people are wondering if they're going to run out of tokens. This number keeps going lower and lower by like 1 million a day. And it just keeps going lower because Terra USD keeps being used and burnt and minted and causes Luna to be burned. So this is decreasing at a like an alarming rate, which is why they're doing very well. So they're about to hit top 10. They're going to flip Doge pretty soon, and they're going to be behind Polkadot soon. And I think Avalanche has taken enough breather recently. I think they're about to move too. And I'm glad to see Matic move, and I think Crypto.com, once they kind of settle down, because they've gone up so much recently, they're going to move. But I think a lot of these projects are going to move in the top 10. Go push out a lot of these stagnant projects. It will not surprise me by the end of the cycle that XRP gets kicked out of number in the top 10. XRP, USDC, Doge, they will all be kicked out of top 10 in my opinion. Any thoughts on Loop Ring? Nope. I think it's just too hyped up. They've done very well because the GameStop NFT rumor, right? But they're kind of holding. I never got into Loop Ring. Even back in 2017, they're a DEX protocol for DEXs, and they have their own DEX, which is kind of shitty. And no one else uses their protocol, so I don't know what's going on. Even if GameStop does come out with their NFT marketplace on Loopring, I don't know why that changes anything. It's not like GameStop is Microsoft. It's not like it's a huge thing. So even then, I don't know. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Overall, be patient. Stay strong. Don't get fudded out in the market. Don't fud yourself out in the market because there's a lot of goodness that is still coming. The fundamentals are stronger than ever. And you don't want to transfer your life-changing wealth to someone else, okay? You want to be taking that from others. You don't want to be giving it to others. Become the person you are meant to be by holding, okay? And DCA. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned tonight for a debut of Jordan on CryptosRUs. Let's see how you guys like it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.